friends. We with the yak and we asking the where y'all at again? Art center, right? I can
Art,
say that art center.
Yeah.
We asking the art center some questions. Okay, you can start. Got a question?
Introduce yourself.
Oh,
We didn't even introduce ourselves. Sorry for my rude accomplice here. My name's Jaden.
my name is Shamira.
Hi.
So we're gonna start off by asking a question. What kind of art do you guys do?
So we basically we do a lot of different art projects, but the main thing we've been doing so far is this thing called mosaics. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's basically where you cut colored pieces of glass and then use this thing called grout to lodge them in the 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 place holder. Like it's basically like this platform you use to put the glass on. You use the grout to keep it from falling off.
I'm not entirely sure if they're okay with it, but there's a box of them over there. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Yeah, like Cam said, we've been doing a lot of mosaic work. The first project we had, Cam was not here for, um, but it's sun catchers that are made out of thin set, which is the stuff you use to stick them down, and then the grout is what keeps them stuck together and in place. And those will go outside, and people can buy them on September 7th.
We've also worked on clay sculpting. We've made plant pots and
Man piles.
nail tiles.
And we also painted some ceramic bowls.
Okay, so what materials do y'all use?
So in terms of materials, we're mostly working with glass, and we have an array of different things that we're putting them on. Right now we're putting them on plastic lamps, so when someone turns it on, it'll like have a colorful glow around your room. And as far as materials that we use to make those things, we use glass cutters for the most part. Scorers, such a weird word.
And what's that sticky paper called?
Oh, contact paper.
Yeah, but we also use contact paper, which allows you to keep the glass on there without falling. So it's different from
So you can lay out your design.
Yeah. Wait.
Okay, where do y'all get your ideas from?
Ideas? Well, since there's so much freedom here, you can kind of pick your ideas from anywhere. I mainly get my ideas from like different video games I played. So a lot of my art kind of inspires from like different color palettes and like yeah. There's this game called Genshin Impact. That's where a lot of my art inspiration comes from, and some of it also comes from my own art that I do in my free time. So like characters I made up, I'll use a color palette for them, and yeah, that's where my inspiration comes from.
I feel like mine personally comes from more so with the mosaics, more so animals and nature. Like my big mosaic piece is based on Luna moths. The ceramic bowl I made has whale sharks on it. And I made coasters a while back that were like sun and moon themed.
My inspiration, I'd say it comes from other art that inspires me, art that I make as well. I've made a lot of sun and moon designs.
Somebody said in the chat, I forgot their name. What's your guys' personal?
Can you say that again? Because you cut out.
what are you guys' motivations? How do you guys keep this going?
You said what keeps us going?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the fact that I'm actually really into art because I feel like a lot of well, for me personally, this job was perfect for me since I've been doing art for about 10 years at this point. I'm 18 right now, so um, I would say also the main thing that keeps me going is my father, since he was the main one who showed me how to draw, basically do everything, any and everything art. Also, art for me helps it helps when I'm feeling down. So I guess another thing when I that's another thing I use to keep me going.
Um,
You can go ahead.
oh, I feel like what keeps me going, specifically here, is that number one, I'm getting paid. Um, and number two, that it's going to a good cause. Like, I know that they're not gonna just sell it and not care where the money goes after that. They're actually putting their time and effort and profits into organizations and bringing art and culture around Baltimore.
Like Grace said, I think what keeps me going is mainly the fact that it's being sold and people want new and exciting art pieces, like mainly different art pieces. I also really like doing art and I've been here for a while, so what keeps me going mainly is the fact that I will be able to come back here.
Um,
What made you choose art?
Something. Well, what made me choose art again? My father. He's been teaching me ever since. Huh?
I was asking them too. I heard you said your father helped you.
Oh,
Um, for me, I feel like as long as I can remember, I've really liked art. It's one of the few things that I've always really been interested in ever since I was younger. I wanted to go to an art school. I've always just wanted to have a career based around art, and it's like my mom went to BSA and then decided that she wasn't going to do it. And I feel like she feels regret, and I don't want to feel that in my life. Like, I want to be happy with what I chose to do.
I chose it because it gives me a chance to express myself. I'm not very open with my feelings or emotions, so I show that through my art. Also, my sister is also like an artist. She doesn't follow the same field that I like, but she inspires me to continue trying my best.
does art help with any other areas in your life?
Um, yeah, I feel uh, like the three of us, or all of us, really have like a deep connection, and like it helps us cope with stuff, and it's a healthy way to cope, to get your emotions out. Because if you get all that stuff out, and it's you can go back into that art and see like how you were feeling and what this piece means to you.
yeah, I would say art definitely helps with other areas of life. One example I could give, when trying to apply for different jobs. If you're a lot more creative than say like the average what is a candidate, I feel like that would be a huge benefit to the company because who wants to go to like a boring, bland place? And it also can help you make a field into like architecture because that's basically what making a building is. You need to be like, depending on the building, obviously, you should make it look a little pizzazz, you know. And yeah, I would say definitely art can help you like branch into different career paths.
Um, okay. Do y'all have any examples of y'all work right now?
Not currently. I can step out quick and go grab my piece, and I will be back in like 30 seconds, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay. You guys can answer other questions while I'm gone.
Yeah, we can.
Um, I think
I got one. What are the four main parts of art?
Four main parts. Well, there's a lot of parts of art, but the four main, I would say, you can't, you shouldn't compare your art to others because you will never. There will always be someone better than you in art. Like no matter how good you get, there will always be someone who is better than you. So you should never compare yourself to others. You can look at others for inspiration, but if you constantly compare your art to theirs, you'll never feel good enough, and that can lead to burnout. For me, like I follow a lot of people on Instagram who are like really good at art, and the main problem I had when I was younger is I will always compare myself to them, and I felt like I was never improving. But as I got older and I look back at those older pictures, I saw huge improvements. So that would be the first one. The second one I would say is just take your time when you doing art. It was what are the four main parts of art? But the second one, I would say take your time when you're doing art. No matter what art media you're doing, you should always take your time. You should never try to rush it. If you feel like you're rushing it, I would say take a break. Because the more you rush it, personally, the worse it's going to probably look. It's not going to look as good as it is if you were taking your time and you weren't rushing. Um, I got it.
I
Um,
think one part is the emotion that you convey in an art piece. I think emotion, like, even if not everybody gets it, at least you do. And I feel like that's very important in an art piece.
I feel like one really big part that a lot of artists that are starting out think about is this has to be original, this has to be from my own mind. You can use references from characters, you can use generators to make your own character and give you ideas for drawing and all sorts of stuff. But I have the piece now if you would like to see it.
Okay.
yes, I will. Don't be talking smack in these comments when you get blocked. Don't play with me. Oh, I was there when you was working on that. Can I see the? I see the butterfly. That's cute.
Yeah, and then there's the back of it.
You gonna sell that or you keeping it for yourself?
So we are selling these big pieces, which, like I said, you can buy on September 7th. They will have a shop and bop from 5 p.m. to, I believe, 8 p.m.
Okay. How much is the the piece?
I am not sure how much the pieces are. Here's another example of me and Zoe's work, which is, this is gonna be the lamp, and there's a hole in there where the light goes, but
I like the colors. That's cute.
And photo.
Someone in the chat said, do you guys have a favorite artist?
I feel like that's a very subjective question because I feel like everyone expects people to say like, "Oh, Pablo Picasso, Da Vinci, um, Michelangelo," like people like that. But there's a lot of really good artists now that are working, and um, they might not do traditional like what's that, realism, but like they make a lot more art that's true to them and the way that they like to do it.
Yeah, actually, I agree a lot with what Grace said because I feel like when people ask that question, they kind of expect the typical really famous artists. But for me personally, a lot of people that I follow on Twitter, I would say they're my favorite artists because, well, not just them, but like the cartoon shows we watched when we were younger. A lot of those people who drew them, I would say they're my favorite artists because a lot of the styles they had, I incorporate in my art to this day, like 5 years later. So I don't know their names that well, but
Yeah.
the show Adventure Time, um, a lot of the art they use and like styles they use, I tend to still use in my work to this day.
Yeah. Like um in Steven Universe, I really like their simplistic cartoony art style from Rebecca Sugar. I think Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon have some really great examples of non-traditional realism art.
Somebody in the chat said, "Is music art to y'all?"
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, um, I would say yeah. I think art honestly can be just about anything
Yeah.
because art doesn't really have a like set definition. Art is like a way you express yourself. So if you express yourself through music, yeah, that's art. If you express yourself through like
Dance.
Legos, dance, just about almost anything you could say could really be considered art. I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of people who don't really do a whole bunch of art, what they think they don't, tend to think of like drawing, painting, clay. But honestly, when you go outside,
Like visual art.
everything you see is art. Like
Yeah.
cars, because someone had to go and like
Yeah.
draw out how the car's gonna look, what colors the car's gonna have, how the wheels, how the engine's gonna look. So just about anything you can think of would be
Yeah.
considered art.
I I agree with that. I think that art is just a way to express yourself. It doesn't have to fit in any specific category. Like I know at BSA they have dance, music, theater, um, film, and photography, stage design, um, all sorts of different. Poetry is more of an after school activity, but yeah, poetry is definitely art.
Theater.
I said,
Oh,
but
sorry.
it's okay.
Oh, somebody asked a really good question. Are you guys worried about AI artists?
Ooh,
Ooh,
actually,
yes.
I'm gonna be honest. Yes.
Yes, I feel like, especially for people who do more digital art than traditional art, um, like I have friends that do um, digital, and like it's scary how accurately an AI could just use that same exact image and like just tweak it enough that it wouldn't look like it's being copied, and like just take the watermark off and change it.
yeah. The main issue with AI art is I feel like a lot of people who kind of see the art field as just a money making thing, they tend to use AI art just to make money, and it kind of throws off the real artists because going on Instagram you see like real artists with comments saying, "Oh, this is AI, this is that, this is that." Then you'll go on the AI page saying, "Oh, this looks really good," and that becomes a problem because it's extremely hard to like differentiate the two. But one thing I did notice with AI art, one thing they try to do is they try to hide the hands because I don't know why, but the AI can never really draw hands right. So that's my one tip. If you think an artist is not doing their own art, look at their hands. Or if they always hide their hands.
Yeah,
That's
AI can't really track things that have lots of joints, like for like Cam said, like hands, like, or bare feet, they can't get the particular motions in your hands and how they work. So that's
And another thing, I feel like once AI gets like over that, then we'll really like truly have an issue
Yeah.
because then it will be like nearly impossible to tell which one is the difference. So
There's like already like I saw like an AI sculptor. Like it made sculptures. Like
yeah.
I mean,
I saw a video the other day and it was like a robot taking the I am not a robot verification test and it passed and the world's coming to an end.
so basically, we think AI art is destroying art. Honestly,
Yeah.
Well,
Orion Jones asks, what's the first art piece you guys remember doing?
back when I was like fourth grade, I made a. It was like a dog painting, and it wasn't very good, but it was like one of my first ever art pieces.
He is really thinking about
I
this.
don't know.
So I saw there was the first art piece that I found myself really proud in. I feel like the first art piece I really found myself proud in were school projects because at my school we're a very project-based school, which means there's a lot of art in there. And most of the time they would have us do all sorts of different paper mache. Like in the beginning of 7th grade, I made a paper mache cell model of an animal cell, and like it had different pieces coming off of it and different labels and all sorts of different things on it.
So I think the first piece that I can actually remember is this little comic book series that me and my dad had when I was like 6. It was basically like this orange that was on fire, and it was like fighting this apple. So that's the first thing I can actually remember.
There was another art piece that I'm basically still working on. I've put like a brush stroke of paint on it every single year since 5th grade, I'd say.
That sounds cool.
It's cool.
Um, so does your guys' art have any meaning to it or any art piece?
The ones that I'm working on here, not really, but there's definitely like in my sketchbook that I keep at home. There's definitely pieces in there that mean a lot to me. Like um, I have like an animal portrait of the first dog I had, and she just means a lot to me. So there are definitely pieces that there's definitely a lot of meaning behind, but it also depends on the person and how someone views it.
Yeah. Well, one art piece that I made was it was two of my siblings who had like passed away, so we had called them Spot and Bear. So what I did was I made two characters based around them, and honestly, that was probably the most meaningful piece of art. I still have it hanging in my room. So yeah, for me, I think every piece of art that I do personally does have meaning. Or I try to give it meaning. Like I usually like drawing with a reason because if I'm drawing without a reason, I feel like I can't make anything. But that one was definitely the most meaningful to me.
One of the most meaningful to me is a painting of my dead dog, and another one that um oh, it's a painting on like body image, and I like fell in love with that painting, and it's still in my room. So
Do you have any questions?
no. Do y'all have any questions for us?
I want to ask, what is your job exactly?
Well, essentially, this we go around interviewing people, live streams, interviewing in person. Nothing be outside or like inside of another work site or in our own work site. So yeah,
How long have you guys been in youth work, like working?
to be honest, not very long. Since March.
Do you guys make art too?
Huh?
Do you guys make art too?
Yeah, we made this. Site. No, we don't do art.
Oh.
I do art for your information.
Oh, he do art. Okay, let them see that. Right.
I do watercolors, but I wouldn't say I'm very good at it because I mostly just do it to like pass time.
I think that's about it for us. We can see if there's another group that's gonna come in, or I can get Miss Christina, but so she can make the call. But I think that's about it for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for having
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good day.
You too.
You too.